Hello, everybody in live stream land on Facebook.
Good morning, everybody.
Yes,
it is
Saturday.
morning.
It's Saturday morning, and we're up and around.
Yeah.
A little different today. Because why, Dan? What's tomorrow?
Because tomorrow's Christmas Eve, and we don't want to be here.
Well, we would like to be here for our listeners and watchers, but we'd rather be with our families.
That's right.
So give us a second here. We're going to get our shares done here, give time to build a little bit of an audience, and we'll get rocking right along. So I hope everybody has their shopping done.
Yes.
And if not, well...
But actually, you still got all of today to do it, really.
You've got 2 more days, today and tomorrow.
Days. Right.
So
you're not too bad off.
Right. Yeah, you better get ready and get it going, so... Alrighty.
Yes.
Well, I got to turn my audio down.
Oh, somebody's got their audio now.
Yeah. Well, see, I didn't have it up this morning when somebody knocked on the door.
That's right. I knew something was up when you weren't responding. I'm like, oh, boy.
Mike hasn't had his coffee yet.
Or is Mike sleeping?
Mike was sleeping.
Mike worked late last night.
Yeah. Yeah, Mike was sleeping. And my dog is barking.
But yes, he is. Oh, another day in the... You know what? It is still nice weather out there.
Yeah, it is. It's beautiful.
But changes are coming.
Yeah?
Yeah. Next week, I saw this morning, it's going to be high teens.
Yeah, we are getting cold weather. Yeah, we are getting a nasty, nasty cold front.
So I'm thinking it's going to be time to hit that hard water.
Polar vortex. You know, I did see this week as I was doing my job that the river, Saginaw River, does have ice. But then a big freighter came through and smashed it all.
Oh, I was going to say.
but it did have ice on it. Yeah, it was covered because you could see the snow on top of the ice. So.
And then a freighter came down and
ruined
that.
Yep, crushed it all. But I imagine the freighters will probably stop coming through the upper stretches anyway pretty soon. But Saginaw, down in Saginaw is probably covered.
Yeah, they... I'm sure it's starting to hit the edges, and I know over on Lake St. Clair that's where it starts out in the little cuts, and everybody piles in. And
so we got that to look forward to here coming up.
We do.
Got all your shares done?
I'm ready.
All right. Well, it looks like we've got a few people on this morning. Hopefully everybody's got their coffee in hand. Make sure you got your coffee.
Oh, you're right. Good morning, Jerry Lambert.
Your donuts. Hey, Jerry, what's going on this morning?
And Jason Radecki.
Jason, good morning from Luzerne.
Yeah, at least you'll be in the single digits up here next week. Yeah, it's gonna be cold.
Speaking of Jerry Lambert, your name was mentioned last night in conversation.
Yes, Jerry, we talked about you.
In a good way, though.
Yes. Capone's Deer Recovery.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Merry Christmas and Happy New Year to Jacob.
Absolutely. So, are we ready to get this puppy rolling this morning? Or are we you got other things to do? You're playing on your phone.
No, I'm just replying to the people that are...
Okay.
I'm making sure... I am making sure that people know, we know...
They're there.
They're there.
You're checking your list?
Yeah, I guess you could say I'm checking the list.
All right.
Sometimes I have to check it twice.
3, 2, and 1. Merry Christmas, everybody, from the Up North Journal.
Merry Christmas. Yes, it is, and I'm out of coffee.
You need more coffee?
Yeah.
God. I got him coffee this morning. He came over. I made coffee.
Right. Good morning, Tim.
But
down in West Virginia.
We're not out of coffee. I brought a thermos like any good hunter does when he goes to the woods. I got a
pour me a cup?
I'll pour you a cup of coffee.
Look at that.
Look at here.
Tim, see us. You're going live tonight at 8 o'clock. If you want somebody to watch Talking Turkey, check out Tim Cius there.
And where can we find him at?
On Facebook, look up Tim Cius.
Oh, that ain't working right. That ain't working right. I got it cross-threaded. We may not have any extra coffee.
This could be detrimental.
This could be bad. Here we go. Here we go.
Ready? Oh,
look at that. You can hear it pouring.
Yes, you can hear it pouring.
Just like deer camp. Taking care of people in the blind.
There you go.
There.
Good.
There we go.
Some for me, some for you.
All right. I got to have my second cup of coffee.
Yes, Tim, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year and good morning for sure.
So if you want to see Tim Cius' show, it's Tim, commonly spelled, but his last name is S-I-A-S, correct?
Yes. SIAS. SIAS. Yes.
Is that his personal page or
Yes,
is that
that's his personal page.
So go over there.
Limwalkers, custom turkey calls.
There you go. Check it out on Facebook. He's got some cool stuff over there. And he's been doing a little live streaming.
He has been. I've been watching him. He's been doing it typically on Friday nights. But this week he delayed it a day. And so he'll be on live later on tonight. So you can check that out. And if you're listening to the podcast, you can go back and check it out.
I guess you could say we're a trendsetter.
We are a trendsetter.
There's quite a few people who have picked this up, and
right. And
I think we've started something.
It's kind of fun.
You know, it's. I guess it's good to be a trendsetter.
It is.
How long have we been live streaming now?
I think we went on. I want to say it was September.
Consistently,
Yeah,
we've been playing with it,
and then I think the last quarter of this year for sure we've been doing it.
We've probably been doing a good 4, maybe 5 months now.
Yeah.
So, and obviously we got the new gear over here. We're rocking along. We don't have anything extra to show you today.
No, we got
other than our smiling faces
and our Santa hats.
And our Santa hat. Well, I decorated a little more this week. Oh, Danny,
what?
We forgot our lights back here. I don't know how we're gonna plug these in.
Where'd you have them plugged in before?
We had them plugged into that. Now it's full.
Oh, it is.
We'll save those for next week. I guess.
We'll save those. We got the big lights on in front of us.
Oh, well. So anyway, but yeah, we did a little more decorating in the studio, and folks, you know Danny's nickname is Red. And I got special lights for Dan here, as you can see. For those on the podcast, you got to watch the live stream.
Watch the live stream.
The replay of it. But yeah, I got you some red lights.
You did. I like red.
Took care of my buddy.
That's right, you did.
So
coffee and red lights.
Yeah, it's a good day. So what do you want to talk about? We're here on the. You know what today is for Seinfeld fans?
Oh, it's Festivus Day.
Festivus,
we can air our complaints, right?
You want an airing of the grievances?
Airing of the grievances.
Do you have any grievances you'd like to file?
I know I used to be union. I can't file grievance anymore.
Well, not work related, but
actually, grievance wise, no.
No outdoor grievances.
It's been a pretty good year. The second half of the year.
Yeah. Okay.
First half of the year, I was a little had an interesting turkey season, but we'll talk about that. And
we're gonna actually at the end of the show. Towards the end of the show, we're going to talk a little bit about a year recap. We're going to do half of it today, half of it next week.
Right. Exactly. But
no grievances, huh?
No, I'm not going to complain. I'm quite happy where we're at today. It's been a good year.
Okay.
How about you?
I got a few grievances. You got the soapbox?
Oh, I got.
We hadn't planned this part of the show.
No, that's the best part. All right. So grievance number 1.
Actually, it's been a pretty good year. You know, my biggest complaint always is about deer management. You know, proper management.
Well, we learned a lot this year.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. This year, coming into last year, with you doing the deer management at your place up there, and the more we talk with people and just the all-around general education of deer management.
Yeah, I've learned a ton.
Yeah, it's talking with different people and having Anna on and Lincoln Roan, and just, you know, it's been becoming more educational.
Absolutely.
But what's your grievance?
Deer management. The state of Michigan needs to do more. You know, I
wish I could play the little music in the background.
Okay, but I just think we need to do more. I don't.
Well,
the biggest problem is funding. We know that. I mean, Anna. We talked to Anna last week. She mentioned funding. You know, is a big problem with getting money into doing the research or doing the testing. You know, and I understand that.
Right, exactly, and a lot of it is going on.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, the DNR seems to have a bad rapport of getting information out and letting them know what's going on and what they're doing and how they're doing it. And so, you know, I kind of agree with you there. Listening to some about your grievance, listening to other people outside of the state that talk about this state, Kip Adams.
Yep. Yeah, he mentioned something last week.
Yeah,
didn't he?
He mentioned something last week in a meeting, and he's a Pennsylvania guy looking in, so he's not a Michigander saying we get no. He's looking at the state compared from another state, which is Pennsylvania, which we're pretty close in hunting.
Right.
And how he views...
Did we talk about this last week?
A little bit. So...
Okay, kind of back up just a little bit. You were on...
Yeah.
Kind of a closed call meeting.
Yeah, I was on a closed call meeting with all the... it was held by the DNR, or it was MUCC. And it was a closed meeting, and they were talking about... They were giving off numbers of CWD and what's going on.
Okay.
So it was like...
Enlighten me.
The first 20 minutes of this meeting...
Because actually, I've not heard a lot of this.
Oh, okay. So the first 20 minutes of this meeting, and I forget his name. Sorry, I wrote his name down. I don't have my notes with me. He went over numbers of how many tested, how many been done, how many. It's just, I mean, the first 20 minutes, I was shocked. I couldn't write fast enough. So they. Threw out numbers of Montcalm County, Kent County, the CWD numbers that were coming back, and how everything was playing out, participation of the people, and they went over that, and so then it was just, Anna talked about it. They ran out of test kits.
Right.
They had to wait.
Right.
They still had a whole bunch to go. They would hope. They were hoping the last 2 weeks of December they would be able to do enough to catch up.
Okay.
Because the new kits came in, and like Anna said, which surprised the heck out of me, there's only one place in the world
that makes these,
in Norway, that makes these test kits.
Why?
Right. It's like, wow, that's bizarre.
You think with the prevalence of CWD here in the deer herd and other animals, that are contracting, the mule deer, elk.
Yeah, it shocked me that there's only one company, which we need to buy stock in.
Right.
So we talked about that. There was other gentlemen on the call and ladies from other co-ops around the state. And they were given time to ask questions about what they can do to help get the word out about CWD,
right? What
we need to do. And then Kip Adams talked towards the end, and then finally Anna Minderling talked right at the end. But Kip Adams, in his little discussion, said, hey, the biggest surprise to him is the amount of does being taken. In Pennsylvania, they shoot more does
than Michigan.
Right. He goes, he's shocked at that. So it's like, okay, so you might want to start looking there first. All right. So with that in mind, then you listen to some of the co-ops that are trying to get the doe management taken care of by running a doe poll, by doing different things.
Yep.
And they're hitting roadblocks.
Yep.
And the roadblocks, for one, they approached a buck poll, and they said, well, let's have a doe poll.
Right.
And they said, no, we don't put does on our buck polls.
Right, yeah. Okay, so make a doe poll.
Right.
Make a buck poll.
And there's different variations you can go. It doesn't have to be the biggest rack, right?
Right.
You could have maybe you put your name in for a drawing, maybe the oldest doe. Just different things that they could, but they were cut right off by saying, hey, no.
Yeah. Well, at our camp, what we do, and I'm not saying good or bad either way. The fact is, I don't put in for contests. They have a pot, a little competition.
Right.
They throw money in, and the winner takes all. And it's the heaviest doe. They bring them. They field dress them, bring them in, and we weigh them on the scale.
And that's a way to do it.
And I've heard other camps that will actually take the ears of the doe and hold them out sideways to their longest length and measure that, because the older they are, the longer the ears are. So they go that way. The biggest spread on the ears. Some camps do oldest. There's
and that's more ways that was being talked about in this meeting, of more ways to get people into taking does.
Right.
And what we've learned through the years, you need to take a third of your population just to maintain your population.
Right. That's the biggest news I think I really learned this year was that piece of information. I'd heard it I don't know if it was at the beginning of the year or if it was at the end of last year, but when I picked that information up, I was just like, okay, this is new. This is something I haven't heard before, and the science is behind it, and we're hearing a lot of people starting to say this. So that's what our camp has done. We've made that switch over. We had a pretty high target rate this year, and we're not halfway there yet.
Right, exactly.
So,
and
it's tough.
It is tough, and just getting everybody into the mindset. I know Wisconsin used to do. I don't know if they still do. You had to shoot a doe before you could get a buck tag.
I don't think they're still doing earn a buck.
But it was. It's stuff like that could be implemented. The DNR's trying.
They are.
They
just need to get the word out a little better.
It needs to get the word out, and also they need to. And I have this with the biologists that I deal with a little bit. Is you got to go ask them. You got to go get the information. They're not going to be, because I mentioned to her the DNR biologist up by me that I stopped at, and I said, "Oh yeah, I listened to your." They come out with that monthly report or quarterly report.
Yep.
And she looked at me funny. I said, "I listened to it." I said, "I know it's your voice." She goes, "Oh, the one we phone in." I said, "Yeah." Then she kind of realized I wasn't talking out of my butt.
Right.
I kind of know what you do, and
right.
And I know she doesn't remember me from Boo, but she's been there for years, as long as I can remember. So it's the same biologist.
Right.
And just talking with her, and I got to talking with her, and that's when I started asking more in-depth questions about a doe season for us and the potential, and she kind of went down the road I thought she was going to go to. Getting where we're at today with the weather, and if we have another soft winter for them up there, it might be good for us. So
right.
But yeah, that was.
I think that's the key, though. Like you said, you're doing some listening on the side. You're talking to them, and I think that's the biggest thing that a hunter can do is, when you see a CO, stop and talk to them. Don't just go, oh, there's another CO. Like that day remember when you and I first went hunting the very first time.
Yeah, the turkey
together,
hunt. Yep.
the turkey hunt. We saw a CO pulled over, and actually he was in the woods stopping to make a pit stop.
Yeah, nature's bathroom, right?
Yeah, he comes out of the woods, fastening his belt, and he looks up and sees us, and we're laughing. But the point is, we seen the truck there, and we stopped and asked for some scouting reports.
Right.
Stop and talk to him. Start that conversation. Don't be confrontational. Just be friendly and start that rapport with your local CO.
And if anybody has watched any kind of TV, and this works with any kind of enforcement, if you listen to what they say, and if you're not a jerk to them, things go a lot smoother.
Yeah. And if you're in trouble, comply.
Right? Don't ask why.
Yeah.
Hey, that's pretty good. Comply and why.
Yeah. If you're being detained, you know why.
Right.
So.
Yeah, and so that meeting was really cool in a sense.
Okay.
Because it was a closed group meeting.
Okay.
And just other co-ops getting into how they're helping to manage.
Right.
Getting the word out. The DNR's got to, again, it kind of went down that road of
getting the good word out.
Getting the word out, and also having mandatory registration.
Okay.
So that question was asked.
Okay.
Are we, and there wasn't a true answer. It was that'd be great, and kind of just it was left gray.
Okay. All right.
So you never know.
They didn't say no.
Right. So my thought is that there might be talks of it.
Okay.
From my interpretation of what was said, and I'm like, well, they're probably discussing it.
Gotcha.
Because it's so easy to do with telephone now.
Yeah, you won't get the deer head turned in, obviously, and being checked for CWD or checked for TB, like we have in our area. But at least they get numbers.
And you ran into that in Illinois where you phoned it in.
Yeah. When I was down in Illinois hunting down at Clint Turner's place, that was in 2010, I think.
Yeah.
2009 or 10. Yeah. I shot a doe that evening and, put my tag on it. And then, you got your tag number. Then you phone in your information. You call the number and put it all in. It was really easy. It took me less than 5 minutes.
And pretty much The whole state of Michigan is cellular friendly.
Yeah, yeah.
There's spots I know by you. There's
Yeah.
spots by me if I'm on the low side of my property.
But I can drive 2 minutes and get to a spot.
I can walk right to the end of the road and I'll have service. So it's not that remote.
Right.
So I don't know. We'll stay tuned. But a good meeting. Those need to happen more often, I think.
Absolutely. Oh, that meeting, by the way, we said it was a closed meeting. There's a group of us cooperative leaders in the state, deer cooperative leaders, and we were invited to this conference call.
Yep.
With the state and with QDMA. I had to work that night, so I got permission to have Danny sit in for me, and hopefully Danny's going to start a co-op in his area at some point in time.
Trying to figure that out. Try to figure the logistics out. I might
Yeah.
have to.
It's not easy.
It's and I know it's not going to be easy.
Yeah.
It's a different world up there.
It is. Well, even around our area, it's tough. The doe population, shooting does. We're the only camp that really does. I did hear from a neighbor this last week. They shot 3 does on their property. Didn't shoot any bucks. So in our surrounding landowners we got 3 pieces of property, and counting ours that we've heard from. There's been 16 does taken and 3 bucks.
16 does.
Yeah.
How much land is you think?
In that group?
Yeah.
Close to 1,000 acres.
Over 1,000 acres, and you took 19 deer.
Yeah, yeah. Last year we shot 24 does, and we were another camp looked at us like we were going Charles Manson on them.
Right, exactly. But you knew early spring that
it didn't make an impact.
Camp manager started seeing deer, and it's like, okay, that didn't make an impact.
Yeah. So this year we upped it to 30, and we're not going to reach our target. The deer have actually disappeared off of our property. We think we know why.
Right, exactly. And then and we know they're there.
Yeah,
because
they're
you
there.
planted and it didn't. Your grow cage said it grew.
Yeah, yeah.
So you knew it was being mowed down.
Yeah.
So
yeah. We think they're being fed somewhere. But
yeah.
I hope.
So we'll see how that goes in the new year. That,
I just think that landowner maybe have some splaining to do,
right?
If somebody stops by. So,
do you have another grievance?
I don't know. Let me think about that in the break. We're going to take a break. But a quick shout out: Dave Hamidy's watching, and Michael Ryder. Those guys are from our camp. And Merry Christmas, you guys. Al Baggett, Merry Christmas. So, Josh Hagerman, hey Josh, I'll see you down at ATA. So. Let's take a break real quick. We come back. We'll continue conversation and get into some good stuff. We're going to step outside. We'll be right back after this. And it looks like... Oh, there it goes.
Moved.
It moved.
You just had the timeline so...
Stretched out.
Yeah. I know. I
thought I lost something there.
No,
folks.
you stretched the timeline out, so I was going to tell you something, but then I saw it move.
So... Hope everybody out there's got their coffee. Hope everybody's having a good morning. We don't normally do this on a Saturday morning, but I think this is a first for us.
No, we've done this before.
Not a live stream.
Oh, maybe not a live
Not
stream.
a live stream, I don't think. But yeah.
But it is. It's Christmas. Do the remainder of our shopping today, I think.
You are? I know I will. As soon as I get done with this show,
right?
I got to take off and make a quick trip.
There you go.
We got people coming over today at noon, so
yeah,
we got to get rocking here.
Yeah, we do. Well, if you would have been awake.
I was asleep. Yes, I was asleep. You ready? Here we go. 3, 2, and 1. Welcome back. Second segment of the show.
We're doing our Festivus beginning to the show.
Yeah, airing of the grievances.
It is December 23rd. And everybody and anybody that watched Seinfeld, we're having we don't have a Festivus poll, but I guess we got a Festivus podcast.
Got one at work.
Yes, you did.
And I thought we lost it. Somebody put it in the scrap pile.
What?
Yes, dude. I went searching high and low, and I found it, and I rescued the Festivus poll.
I got one at home. Mm-hmm. My daughter's made one years ago.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember where it's at, so I don't know where it's at. Well, I think I know it's in the closet, but
second pouring of the coffee this morning.
There you go. But first segment we talked about one of the grievances we had was deer management. Do you have another one?
Yeah, I'm out of coffee. Not for long.
No, you're filling it up nicely. It almost has that waterfall effect. Kind of soothing.
You hear that?
Yes.
Seems like we heard that earlier this year.
Yeah, we did.
I think it had something to do with a deer grunt call.
All right. You hear that?
Here, you want the rest? I'll give you the rest here.
Oh, what a guy.
That's the kind of guy I am. I'm a giving person. And giving him the last of my you guys know how much I love coffee, so I'm giving him the last of my coffee. Almost there. We're getting there. Woo.
You're going to have to finish it off.
I think I might. Yeah. I'll have to throw the rest in my cup, I guess. Just like deer camp, sitting in the blind. And actually, this is the thermos that I use in the blind. I love this thermos. You can get them at
Michael
Cabela's, by
Ryder.
the way.
Michael Ryder says they're going up next week to camp.
Michael, I hope you guys lay the dough down. We need some dough shot. Be forewarned, though. The sightings of the dough at our place have been very minimal.
Really?
Yeah, I would suggest sitting out all day if you can stand the cold.
That's going to be tough next week. As we talked about, and as Jason Radecki said, it's going to be single digits from north of us.
Yeah. Matter of fact, Michael, if you're still on and you're listening, you guys are more than welcome to hunt my high road blind and my low road blind if you want. So I don't know how many guys you got going to camp, but utilize my blinds if you need to.
Yeah. Start a fire in them.
Don't light my blinds on
Oh,
fire.
I mean, get a heater in them.
Yeah, you'll need a heater in them.
I guess starting a fire would not be, well.
The one in the low field heater works really well. The one up on the high road, if you don't know how to start it and keep it running, it won't work. It'll shut off. I need a new head on it.
Well, I'll save that for the last of the show if I remember.
Okay, so I guess that's a grievance of mine. Is
Okay,
my high road blind heater.
Did you ever get one of those furnaces types? I know you've got the big headed ones, right? The heater.
Yeah, the Mr. Heater.
Right.
Single head.
Do you
ones,
ever get the furnace?
No.
No?
Well, I've got the little Mr. Buddy.
No. It's a furnace. I mean, it's a propane. Looks like a wood stove.
I'll have to put that on my Christmas list.
I don't know if they still make them or not. Now I got two of them. I'm sure they do.
They run on propane?
It runs on propane. Here, I'll describe it, and I'll describe it for the podcast.
Okay.
Take a square wood stove.
Okay.
It's got a little front door. Underneath that is the controls for the propane.
Okay.
Inside is a long burner.
Like little pipe with holes in it.
Yep.
Okay.
And then out the back comes a 3-inch stack. And then you run a stack out of the blind.
So you don't have to worry about CO.
That's right.
Not the CO.
Not the CO. The gas CO.
You like how I did that?
Yes, you did. You did good at that. But, God, I got my 2 years ago. I still got them at home. And so, basically, it's, I'm going to say 8 by 24, if that.
Okay.
And what's nice about that is you can control it. Once you get it lit, you control it, and you can turn it up high or low, and it becomes a furnace. But what's nice about that is you can take a can of soup,
Put it on top and heat
put
it
it on
up.
top, and it'll heat up.
Okay. Just don't grab it with your bare hands.
Don't do that. That's why you get gloves.
Okay.
But that, for your blinds, would probably be pretty cool.
Okay. That'd be pretty embarrassing if you did something like that and dropped it.
That would hurt.
Speaking of embarrassing,
Yes.
we talked about this earlier.
Right. We talked about one of...
You ever had an embarrassing moment in the woods?
What is one of the most embarrassing moments in the woods? For me, years ago, 2 things stick out in my mind. Embarrassing to the point of stupid, but now lessons learned.
Okay.
Okay? Years ago, bow hunting. I used to hunt some state land up in Port Huron.
Okay.
And my brother and I went out. It was it was snowy. So I would climb up. There was an oak tree that I could climb up into.
Okay.
And I could stand in the oak tree. I didn't have a tree stand in it. I just got up into the crotch of the tree and stood. Right?
How did you shoot?
Well, you could shoot.
That sounds really cumbersome.
It kind of was, but
Okay.
it got me off the ground.
Okay.
No safety harness. Mm-hmm. And it was a little bit of snow on the ground. And we had walkie-talkies.
I've heard this story. I know where this is going.
Yeah. So, okay, we're on the walkie-talkie together. There's deer, yeah. So, okay, I'm going to get down and head out. Okay.
And these are like headset walkie-talkies.
Yeah, they were voice activated. I had a little microphone. And then,
so every time you talked, it turned on?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I said, okay, I'm going to get down now. Because I knew where he was. He was in the tree stand, too.
Okay.
So, no lifeline, no harness. And so I turn around to come out. Well, I think what it was is I'm sure I still had snow on my boots.
Okay.
And I put my foot down to come out, and it was about a 10-foot drop. And it slipped, and I went flying.
Uh-huh.
And it was voice activated to the point where he heard me hit the ground. And yeah. And I laid there for a minute, surveying the situation.
I'm still alive.
Yep, I'm still alive.
Any broken bones?
Nothing hurts, and I can move everything. My brother's now laughing.
Mm-hmm.
And right there, good example. I'm very lucky I didn't land on a rock. I didn't do anything, land stupidly. It could have been really bad because it was only 10 feet, but
Yeah.
you can fall 2 feet and it could be really
I know
bad.
a guy that fell off of the second rung of a tree stand, climbing up. Second rung, slipped and fell, broke his ankle.
Yep. It doesn't take much.
No, so.
So lesson learned there. Safety harness and a lifeline.
Mm-hmm.
It was just one of those things. I look back now and I go, oh, you stupid.
Yeah.
So that was one.
Okay.
And number two happened, again, years ago. We just started our bow hunting adventures in life.
Uh-huh.
And my uncle, we took our uncle with us, same spot in Port Huron.
Okay.
And he's the deer hunter of the family. And lo and behold, he shoots a doe. Okay, cool. Somebody shot one. Woohoo! I was young, and we were all the cousins were young at the time. But he actually shot it a little farther back.
Okay.
So we had to track it. We found it. It was laying down. So we had this ingenious idea we're just going to shoot it again.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So lo and behold, the wisdoms that be, we surround the deer.
Uh-oh. I haven't heard this story.
So we surround the deer, and we're going to shoot at its head.
With bows.
With bows. Okay. So somebody shoots. Now, granted, the deer, if we're together in the woods, the deer is between us, and I'm shooting at the deer's head.
And I'm on the other side.
Yes.
Supposedly.
Yes.
Oh, that's ingenious.
Yeah. That's. You look back on that moment, and that was pretty stupid because the arrow went flying.
Ricocheted off the head.
Yeah, ricocheted, and
Uh-huh.
it hit her head. It hit her head. It bounced off and went flying. That could have been really bad. So,
Ouch.
outcome came of that one was my uncle jumped on its back and cut its throat. Then, that's one of the times I heard a deer make a noise that you will never forget.
Mm.
And I've heard that a couple of times, and you know it when it's a deer.
Yeah.
But
It reminds you, I guess at that point, and when you hear something like that, it reminds you of the seriousness of taking life.
oh, absolutely,
You know,
absolutely.
when you're hunting. I mean, we all talk about the different reasons we hunt, this, that, and the other, but you know, it becomes a serious moment when you pull that trigger, or you have to finish one off that you
Pull that trigger, release an arrow.
Yeah. So
I've done it. I've spined a deer.
Mm-hmm.
I've had to walk up and dispatch it properly,
right,
and then watch it roll over on my arrow. That's when I got mad.
yeah, right. Snap.
$10 arrow.
Right.
What are you doing?
Thanks.
Yeah. But those two moments stick out to me as stupid,
Yeah.
but lessons learned.
Yeah, it happens. Stuff like that.
And I remember we were the cousins at the time were young.
Uh-huh.
We were young, so we put that in our caps of
Wisdom.
wisdom, right? Don't do that again.
Right.
So, no, those two things stick out to me in my mind. What about you?
Two instances. One was probably 15 years ago or so. At our current camp, I was going to a blind that we had just set up and trying to find my way to it. Is in the middle of a swamp. And that particular year, opening day, was cold. I mean, it's definitely below freezing. There wasn't a lot of snow on the ground. It had just gotten cold. And I missed the trail. Got off the trail somehow going through the swamp. And stumbling around, I knew I was within probably 30 yards of this blind, but I could not find it. It's dark. And
Dark is dark.
And I don't want to turn my flashlight on. I'm carrying a rifle, and I'm carrying my heater, waddling through the woods, and all of a sudden, boom, down I go. My right leg goes down into a hole the perfect size of my boot.
Nice.
And I go down, past my knee, it was a deep hole.
Wow. Yeah, it is.
And I kind of, stumble, and I'm trying to, and I finally got my leg worked up enough where I could lean back, and I fell backwards at the bend of my knee. Luckily, I didn't break my leg. And, of course, the hole was full of water, ice cold water. My boot's full of water. And I'm trying to pull it up without losing my boot, at that point. And having to walk the rest of the way, stumbling around barefoot, or sock-footed, wet. So yeah, I finally worked myself loose, got the boot out, and by that time I had made a load of noise. Anything that was in the next mile or next county was probably gone. So
actually, I think they were probably standing there looking at you laughing.
Yeah, it could be. So at that point, it's just like, okay, get the flashlight out, and I was within 30 yards of the blind. There's the blind. Okay, made my way over. Had to strip down. Of course, everything I had on was covered, so I had to start stripping each layer down. And I'm down to my not my underwear, but my base layers.
Right.
And I got everything laid out over top of my heater, and it's roaring, and I'm trying to, dry everything out. I'm freezing to death. So, yeah, that was pretty embarrassing at that moment because it blew the whole morning hunt. And at that point it's dark, it's still dark, so every window of my blind's lit up orange like a pumpkin.
Oh yeah,
because I'm trying to thaw out. So,
and that's another reason I bring up that furnace.
Yeah,
you don't get that glow.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a really good point.
Okay, so you're out there, you're down to your base layers. Mm-hmm. It's cold.
It's cold.
How long did you last out there?
I made the morning hunt. I got everything dried out.
Oh, did you make?
Yeah.
Okay.
But I was hugging that heater pretty tight.
Mm-hmm. I can imagine with the heat coming off the heater, the steam coming off the the clothes.
It looked like a sauna.
Yeah, exactly. That's okay. All right.
So that was one. The other one, actually, I'll admit too that it happened this year. Opening day.
Okay. Rifle season.
Rifle season.
All right.
Pouring down rain. Big breakfast. Big breakfast. You got to eat because you got to stay warm. Food makes fuel. It keeps your body warm. So I loaded up. Yeah, well, about 2 hours after daylight, nature calls.
Uh-oh. It's raining.
It's raining.
It rained all morning in the lower.
Yeah, it was pouring down rain.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, so nature called, and it wasn't just to water the tree. And I was like, oh, geez. And it's like, there's no way you can wait. And I sat out there all day. And I'm like, okay, what am I going to use for paper?
Oh, no paper?
Had nothing with me. And I wound up taking my lunch, dumping everything out, and I had the paper bag. So that's what I used. It worked.
I know somebody.
So lesson learned. Take teepee with you when you go to the woods. Put it in your backpack.
Lesson learned. I know somebody who had the same. This was a few years back.
Use socks and underwear?
Use socks.
Yeah.
Brand new pair of socks. Without. So the the running joke was, if you're walking in that area and you see a pair of socks, don't pick them up.
Don't pick them up, right.
I'm sure some animals probably used them for their home and stuff.
Yeah,
so I'm sure they didn't go to waste because I'm pretty sure they were wool socks. So.
Yeah. Well, mine were scent locked, so I guess it would have covered the scent up, I guess, so I don't know. But
right.
I'm not going to burn a pair of socks.
Well, nature calls, it happens.
It does happen.
And that's one of the things. But, yeah. Lucky you had a paper bag.
Yeah, luckily.
Because, I guess you could have used some wet leaves.
Yeah, that wouldn't have been good.
Right.
Okay, so while we're on this subject, let's get a little gross.
Okay.
If you're in the woods and nature calls, and you take care of business, do you just walk off and leave it, or do you bury it?
Cover it up. I don't know if you call it bury it, but
yeah,
if you just covered up with leaves and stuff, kind of. Yeah. Like I'm not going to dig a hole.
Yeah. Well, I kind of used my boot and carved out a little hole.
Okay.
So yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah, it's bad enough you got to leave scent in the woods like that, and don't leave it for somebody else to step, or let alone it'd be your luck the next morning walking in if you happen to be walking that way and stepped in it.
Mike went shirt cuffs always work.
Shirt cuffs. No. I don't want to. I don't want to use my clothes if I don't have to. I guess you know what? In a pinch.
In a pinch, you're going to do what you need to do.
No pun intended.
Right.
In a pinch.
Right.
This is the first talking about that on the show.
It won't be the last.
I seen a video on YouTube that talked about the different ways to actually take care of business in the woods properly, so you don't make a mess.
In case of emergency, or you make it back to the cabin.
Yeah. So. Well, I'll tell you what. Enough of that talk. I'll tell you what. Let's step outside. We'll take our next break. We come back. We'll continue on conversation. It's probably a lot more sanitary.
There you go.
We'll be right back after this. All right, folks. Let's save this off. Yeah, that's a first that we've talked about this on the live stream.
In depth. Yep.
So, embarrassing moments in the woods. Everybody has them.
But it happens.
It does happen, you know? I've had a couple hang fires before. First deer I ever killed. That one right there was a hang fire.
Which one?
This one right here.
Oh, okay.
You can't see it because the camera's not tilted up, but yeah, that one was because of a hang fire. It came back actually a little while later with more deer.
Actually, my brother shot one while watering the lilies.
That we had a guy at camp years ago.
I've heard more stories of that or when somebody's smoking.
Yeah, I've heard smoking too.
One guy swears by it. Or used to swear by it.
We had a guy we hunted with for years that every time he dropped his trousers to take care of business in the woods, he'd shoot a deer. I mean, we're not talking once or twice. We're talking.
You got pretty consistent?
More than a half dozen times.
Jeez.
It's just like it was as regular as he was. You ready?
I'm ready.
Okay, here we go. 3, 2, and 1. Welcome back. Third segment of the show. So, we've taken care of embarrassing moments. We've talked about Festivus and our airing of the grievances.
Can we talk food?
Yeah, we can talk a little food. Yeah.
Because I got my deer back.
I did too. I just got mine back. I didn't take and butcher mine this year. I took it over to the same place you did.
Yeah,
the one that I do use when I have to. Usually, if I shoot a deer at camp and I'm there at camp for a while and I don't get the opportunity to quarter it up or skin it at camp and put it in my cooler, I got that big Cabela's Alaskan Guide Series that'll fit a whole deer. Problem is, I hung it on the pole. It's all stretched out, and it was super cold that night, and it froze, so I couldn't fold her and get her into the cooler.
No, you could. I saw it when I walked in. When I came in that night,
yeah.
It was laying on the trailer. I'm like, yeah, that ain't going to fit in the cooler.
No, and the fact that after it's froze, I didn't have a way to really thaw it out without bringing it in the house. And Mama not going to let that happen.
And being in the garage, it wasn't going to thaw out in the garage.
No, and I couldn't find my chain fall.
Oh, that's a problem.
Yeah, I don't know. It's in there. I just couldn't find it, and I'm like, man. Okay, it's going to Richardson's. So it's going to go to the butcher shop. So yeah, I had to pay to have it done.
Yeah,
you had yours done. You got it back.
I got it back. I made.
And you brought treats over last week.
Last week, yeah.
And we didn't talk about that.
I did. I did my first batch of summer sausage. I got that done. I went with pepper jack cheese, and then I did a jalapeno cheddar.
Okay.
Which I haven't brought over yet. Maybe I'll bring that over next week for New Year's.
Okay.
Have a little.
Now, did you make, like we did last year, the logs, or did you make the sticks like you brought over last week?
Those are logs, the
Okay.
12-inch logs. And I attempted to do sticks for the first time.
Right.
And I let you taste them.
Oh, dude, those were awesome.
And that was just the base ingredients of a mixture that I bought. It was a whole kit. I'd never done them before.
And you got that at a little butcher shop.
Yeah, a butcher and packer supply company down by me where I work.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to have to stop back there probably this week and get some more.
Okay.
But I think they came out really good.
They did. I was like, okay. I was the guinea pig. And I'm like, okay, here, try these.
Right?
But I was
and that was just
I was blown away how good they were.
But I learned how to do sticks, and I had never attempted to do it because it's a smaller casing,
Right.
And because in the kit it gave me a casing that was probably this long,
Okay.
but it was all condensed, right?
Right.
And it was good for 10 pounds.
Oh, so it's one long casing.
It's one long casing.
Okay.
And I'm like looking at this going, this ain't going to work.
So did you fill the whole thing and then twist them down?
Okay.
Uh-oh. Here comes the story.
Yes.
Another embarrassing moment.
Well, I'm looking at this thing going, well, how does this work? I have no clue how to do this. Mm-hmm. So I preloaded it on the, I don't know what that is, about 6-inch tube.
Yeah, the little stuffing tube.
This is stuffing tube. And there was still 3-4 more inches to go. And I'm like, well, maybe it just starts to push it down and fill.
Right.
I don't know.
Yeah.
So I start. Well, it only gets so far, and all of a sudden it starts back.
Starts pushing it out. Or
Right.
pushing the casing along with it.
In which I'm like, okay. But then it almost like, it stopped. It wasn't going any further down the tube. And I'm going,
Right.
So I had a couple inches still to go, but it was stopped, and it wasn't going any further down the tube.
It wasn't
I'm like,
packing all the
right.
casing.
And I'm like, well, and I kept going and going. I'm like, well, maybe it's just pressure and it'll go. Because I don't know.
Uh-oh.
Well, the case busted. It blew up. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, well, that didn't work.
Right.
And so I had to step back and I had to look at it. And I said, okay, I'm going to do this in bits and pieces.
Okay.
And so what I ended up doing, and my youngest, Erica, was helping me. I said, you're going to help me do this because I'm not sure what I'm doing. But so I would cut so much of the casing. Mm-hmm. Then I would load it up, and then I would tie the end.
Right.
And then I would load that.
Okay.
And then I'm like, okay, this is starting to work out.
So you made the casing whole length shorter.
Right.
Plus the whole thing didn't fit onto the stuffing tube.
Right.
Gotcha.
So I tried to make them as big as the tube.
Okay.
Right? 3 inches, 4 inches, whatever that is. I'd load it up and say, okay, that's good.
Uh-huh.
Cut it, and then I would tie it. And then I would load that.
Okay.
One thing you got to remember when you're doing this is make sure your meat is totally thawed.
Is totally thawed out.
I was kind of rushing this because I wanted to get it done. And
Still a little frozen.
I had frozen chunks.
Okay.
And that binded up my. So I'd go, and all of a sudden I'd hit it, and I'd be like, let's go. And I'd undo it, and I'd, yep.
Okay.
So I did that. You like them. Everybody at home liked them. So I think I'm going to do that again. But it's just, I had no clue. And I was like, okay, I'm learning this on the fly.
Right.
And it was just, it turned out not too bad. So.
No, I loved them. I think they were great. The taste was good. I like mine with a little pop and zing to them. You know, some pepper seeds would be good in there. You know, them little yellow pepper seeds we put in our sticks last year. You know, I would probably do some of those.
The mustard seed.
Yeah, but you can't do all hot. You can't do all right,
exactly.
But no, I thought they were excellent.
And that was a base. It actually said in the instructions if you wanted to put a little heat in it, you could add pepper.
Okay.
I think it was white pepper, or just add pepper.
Ghost pepper.
Well, that potentially, because some people do like their sticks hot,
flaming hot.
Personally, I like to be able to taste my food.
Yeah. Yep.
You know, it's just one of those things you do, but I'll probably work on that this week. I seen a recipe just today's Saturday, so just 2 nights ago. Mm-hmm. Tenderloin poppers, jalapeno poppers.
Okay.
That looks yummy. I'm gonna. Basically, what you do is you lay out a piece of bacon. Can't go wrong there.
Bacon's good in anything.
And you cut the tenderloins long ways. You put you strip of bacon, the tenderloin. You put some cream cheese at one end with a jalapeno, and then you roll it up. You toothpick it or skewer it, and then you put it on the grill for a few minutes.
Nice.
And then you let it go until the bacon turns crispy.
Bacon.
But I'm thinking the only thing that gets me on that one is being a tenderloin. It's not going to take long to cook.
Yeah, being wrapped in the bacon might protect it though. Or the juices from the bacon seeping into it might.
Right, because it says to finish it up by taking them off when the bacon's crisp.
Yeah.
So I don't know how long that would be.
Yeah.
But stay tuned. That's I just found that recipe and oh man.
Okay.
It looked good.
Might try them a couple at a time, not waste a whole a whole backstrap or tenderloin.
Right. Exactly. So I got that plan. I did get a couple roasts this year. I'm not a big roast fan.
Me either.
So I don't know how I'm going to do those yet. Probably crock pot those, I'm thinking.
Okay.
But do you have any plans for your venison?
Putting them in my belly.
Well, hopefully we don't have a disaster like you had last year with the freezer going down.
No, because actually they're in the upstairs refrigerator freezer this year. That freezer's nice and full right now. I got my back straps and tenderloins butterflied, and those are nice little tiny packages, enough for probably 2 people. And I got some steaks that are probably enough for 2, maybe 3 people. They did them like in 1 pound-ish.
I think there's 2 steaks per package.
Is there? Okay, so it'd be enough for 2 people. And then the rest I got done in burger with bacon. Speaking of bacon.
Got bacon already added.
Bacon burger. But, so that's already mixed with pork and the bacon and all that kind of good stuff. So that way I can take that and actually make summer sausage right away.
Yeah.
Because it probably won't get used in anything that we eat around here. I might make a burger or 2 out of a package, but my wife, she doesn't like venison unless it's in summer sausage or sticks.
What about spaghetti?
If I put it in there and
tacos?
She didn't know, maybe. Or chili, but she's really picky about that stuff.
Deb,
more psychological for her than anything, I think.
Deb, we did tacos. She did it like a 50-50.
Okay.
Turned out really good.
Mixed burger with the venison burger?
A pound of burger with a pound of venison. But like you said, our venison's got pork in it. So
okay,
you're cutting it down again from not 100% venison to half.
Yeah.
That turned out really good.
Okay.
And if you do it in spaghetti, we did the crock pot spaghetti sauce, so it went all day, and it was just yummy.
Right.
The roast, you didn't get no roast.
No, I just had everything else ground up.
Typically, I don't either, but I figured, you know what, we'll try it.
Yeah. When I get to that part when I'm butchering it myself, I just cut them into like chops, small chops.
Okay.
Or a lot of that I'll actually cube up and make stew meat out of. So I can put it in like I do a beef stew. Make soup with it. So that's kind of what I do with what I've got left of what little bit of venison that I don't put into steaks and the back straps. So.
Tim C.S. got a question for us. Did you guys use the?
He noticed.
Yes. Or are they there for decorations?
Tim, I've not used them. And hang on, I got it for those of you on the live stream here. Let me reach up here and grab one. Tim asked about the ulu knives. This is ulu knife. The ulus. I got these actually from a former UNJ staffer.
Yep.
That lives in Alaska.
And he's on the show Life Below Zero.
Life Below Zero.
Right.
Chip Hailstone and Agnes Hailstone. If you guys watch it, I think it's on
Thursday nights on
Nat Geo.
Nat Geo.
Yep. He was with us for 2 years, maybe 3. And wrote back when we did blogging and stuff. He wrote for us and sent pictures and everything. And Nat Geo actually found him.
But then he got a better offer
off of our site, and he got a better offer. Actually, they're paying him.
Right?
So, we wished him the best, and I still stay in contact with him. And 2 years ago, maybe 3 years ago,
I think it was 2.
He was making these. Somebody asked him, "Hey, do you make them?" Because they're always using these on the show. And he says, "Do you buy those or make them?" But this is, not this one personally, but this is an ancient technique that they used to make knives out of. I would say ancient, but for a couple hundred years, this is what they've used to work up their game meat. So they still use them. They use them on the show, and he makes them. And somebody said, "Well, you ought to make those for Christmas gifts and let people buy them."
Right.
He's like, "Great idea." So he did, and I got a couple. Did I get?
We got 3.
3. I got you one, and
Okay.
I got 2 here. I was going to give one to Jake, but I don't want him carrying one of these to college.
No, that's not a good idea.
So, I've got 2 of these. I don't use them. They're more for just having here on the desk, but they're sharp. They are really sharp. Other than watching how they work game meat and fish, I really don't. I guess that's the the technique is a
If we ever get a deer here,
maybe we'll try it.
we'll have to try to skin it with one and work it. But like you said, we took our deer into the processor.
Yeah.
I had to take mine in, and you did. But if we do ever do it at home here, we probably could try it.
Yeah, and Tim said Eskimo's choice of cutlery. Yeah, I found out personally they like to be called Inuit.
Yes,
she's an Inuit, an Alaskan Inuit. So I'll just leave it there at that.
Right, exactly. And so they I'm trying to figure out what I was going to say next. Don't worry, I'm coming back.
You okay there?
Yeah, no. I was talking about roast. So, but when you get to the roast, when you do your own deer, you cut them into chops.
Yeah.
Then do you make the rest all hamburger?
I've not made hamburger. That's what I bought last year. I bought the Cabela's
right. We made it last year.
Grinder.
But when you did it, you just cut the meat and just sealed it that way.
Yeah, that's what I typically do when I butcher. The only time I get hamburger made is when I take it to the butcher. Right. The processor, to have him take care of the deer for me when it's froze solid.
Yeah,
but I got that Cabela's grinder last year for Christmas.
Yep.
And that's what I want to use, And I would have done this year had it not froze. So.
Oh, another thing we're gonna make: venison stroganoff.
Okay. You've not made it yet.
You've got to have this.
Okay.
Deb makes it, and it's awesome.
I think I need. Oh, Deb's watching. Deb, you're making venison stroganoff.
Actually, I'll make it.
Okay.
Because she's going to be a little camera shy.
Okay. All right.
So I'll have a.
I need to bring the camera over and have. We need to do another kitchen.
Yes, we do.
Kitchen episode like we did last year.
Yes, actually, we could do it here because you've got the island.
Yeah, we could do it here.
We could do it much better camera-wise.
Yeah.
And
absolutely.
She makes an awesome stroganoff.
Yeah.
It's good.
Okay.
So maybe she'll come over and she'll be our coach.
Yeah, and maybe my wife will actually try it. Maybe she'll have some venison for once.
Right. It's good.
It's psychological for my wife. She just, she'll eat because it's in a casing and you cut it and
It looks like when you go to the store and you buy the pack, right?
Bingo.
It's got the square cheese with the pack. It's got the log, and here you go, Merry Christmas, right?
Yeah. She'll eat it that way. She likes that.
But we typically tend to use the backstrap.
Okay.
So it's a tender meat.
Okay.
And it just
okay
with noodles, gravy. Oh.
Making my mouth water already.
Yes, sir.
So,
but
and maybe we'll use the ulus.
We could use the ulus, and maybe we'll have to do that more. Do some cooking segments.
Yeah, we got that technology. We could actually live stream it like we're doing right now.
Right. We did it. We did it. We started last year, and then the freezer died. And then we ran out of venison.
Yeah. Oh gosh.
Because we used your smoker for the first time.
Yep. Yeah, the smoker's not been used since.
Right. It's like, okay, good. And then the freezer died. And I didn't have no meat.
Yeah.
So now I've got meat. You've got meat. Yeah. Now we got actually product to cook.
I got 17 pounds of hamburger that we can do something with. We can make some sausage.
I got like 50 pounds of hamburger.
So we can
3 deer.
We can take and we won't be able to use the grinder. Once again, that's going to set for another year.
Right.
But we still have a January hunt here in Michigan. That's archery hunt. That special hunt, and it's right in our back door.
It is. It's the urban hunt for doe only.
Archery only, yeah.
But it's gonna be interesting because we're gonna be pretty busy in January.
We are, but you know what? We might be able to slip out one morning because
a morning or two getting out there. I think after.
I wonder if they still got doe tags.
Oh, we'd have to look
because your buck tags are gone.
Yeah, my buck tags are gone, and
But I still got a buck tag.
You do.
So. We could sit in a pop-up blind and hunt side by side. If it's a buck, I could shoot it. If it's a doe, you could shoot it.
There you go. And my wife says it's very good, if I do say so myself, her stroganoff.
Yeah, okay. I'll have to try it and see.
So
we'll have to do a batch up over here.
Yes, we will. So it was good.
Well, I'll tell you what. This segment's running long. We need to take a break.
Yep.
All right. We're going to step outside, take our next break. We come back. We'll wrap up the show. We'll be right back after this. All right. Let me save this off. I'm out of coffee.
I'm out of coffee too, but I'm good.
Yeah, I'll have to make another pot.
I had enough. Woo! You know it's warm in here?
It is. I need to take a log off fire. Last week it was really chilly in here, so I opened up the vent, and now it's roasting.
My Santa hat is making me hot.
It's like roasting our chestnuts on an open fire.
Right? Or am I hot in a Santa hat?
Yeah, you can take that any way you'd like.
Right.
So, alrighty.
Last segment. What are we going to talk about? You want to talk about the first 6 months of the year, or you want to...
We haven't done that yet.
No, we haven't. Actually, this might work out good, because the first 6 months kind of...
Yeah, sure. We could do that.
Yeah.
And then at the end we'll talk about my new project I'm working on real quick and kind of wrap it up.
And we still haven't talked about the other thing, too. Or do you want to talk about the other thing?
I forgot it. Folks, do you want to sit here for another hour?
Right. Why don't we push what happened to next week for the first part of the show, and then we could have the rest of the year review, and then we can finish up. Okay, let's do that.
All right. Stand by 3, 2, and 1.
Ow.
Are you all right over there?
I had to reposition my hat because it's a little warm in this cabin.
Yeah, it is a little warm. Take a log off the fire. Jeez,
no kidding. I even wore my Black Eagle long sleeve shirt.
Oh, see, I was smart. I wore short sleeve.
Well,
it's warm. I'll have to adjust the heat here again.
You had to wake up.
Last week it's cold. This week it's hot. So
right.
I opened the vent. So, all right, last segment of the show.
Last segment of the show. Hey, you know what? We're coming towards the end of the year. Mm-hmm. We'll do this in 2 segments. We'll do the first 6 months this week, and the second 6 months next week.
All right.
And we'll kind of do a year in the review.
Okay. So where do you want to start? January?
Well, let's start in January.
ATA?
ATA. Met an interesting fellow at ATA. Mm-hmm. And we've become good friends over the year. The new manager, Dan Yassa.
For PSC.
Yep. We were introduced to him at ATA by the one and only.
Yes, it started already.
Yes, it has started.
Yes.
You threw me under the bus.
No, Bobby Vargas started that conversation. He wanted some help loading the trailer to go to ATA this year.
You threw me in there. You threw me there to go help.
He asked for help. I figured, hey, what better? We'll send Danny out to Tucson, help him load the truck, the semi, and take it to ATA.
Yeah, well, I didn't get a plane ticket, and I didn't do it.
You're still here.
I'm still here.
Okay.
So I will talk with Bobby about that next year.
But Bobby introduced us to Dan Yassa.
Dan Yassa, the new Michigan, Ohio manager for PSE. Great guy.
Yep.
Really knowledgeable about bows.
Yep. We learned a lot from him this year.
We did, and he took us out to a shoot, and
down in Ohio.
Well,
part of it was in Ohio, part of it was in Michigan.
Yeah, depending on where you're standing, right?
Yeah.
Literally walking across the parking lot, you went across the state. So that was really cool for January.
Learned a lot about that.
We learned a lot. We did a couple shows in January, which was cool. Again,
no ice fishing.
We didn't do no ice fishing. Hopefully,
everything got canceled again.
Right. Hopefully, it's going to turn cold here. I would like to get on some hard water just to get out there.
I bet you. I'm not going to promise, but I bet you next weekend, the local lakes here, I bet you we can ice fish.
I'm thinking so too, because it's supposed to start to get cold.
Christmas night.
Christmas
night.
I think they're kind of predicting a almost white Christmas.
Yeah.
I didn't know there was an official amount of snow to make it a white Christmas.
1 inch.
1 inch.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. So that was January. Mm-hmm. So now we're in, and maybe, I don't know, maybe we get Dan up here go ice fishing.
Yeah.
Yeah. But anyways, so that was January. We did some shows, hung out with Dan some more. We were at Lansing. And then
turkey season rolled around.
No, hold on. We went to Lincoln Roan's.
That's
Let
right.
Them Go and Let Them Grow.
Yeah.
A thing out in
the Deer Summit.
The Deer Summit.
I forgot about that.
You know, and I think that was the first time we met. I got to sit by Kip Adams. On my left was Kip Adams, and on my right was Mike Adams. And
yeah.
Actually, I think you were across the table.
Across the table.
But we got to meet and have dinner with Kip Adams.
Yep.
And we were at the main table, I found out, which was kind of scary. But,
right? How did that happen?
I don't know.
We're sitting there with some
right.
heavy hitters.
Right. And
that was good. Sittons were there.
Sittons were there.
Yeah, Wayne and Luke,
and Kip Adams, and talked with those guys over dinner. The place was packed.
Yeah.
250 people.
Get your tickets earlier this year, folks.
Yep. I'm sure we're going to do that again next year. I'm going to talk with Lincoln about that. And that was a great evening. Great speakers, and Kip Adams and
Dr. James Brucker.
Thank you.
Yep.
And we talked about, obviously, everybody there was in the same mindset. Nick Percy was there.
Yep. Killer Food Plots.
Killer Food Plots. So it was just basically preaching to the choir. There was a lot of DNR people there.
Yes.
MUCC, Anna was there.
Yep.
So we got to meet and learn and hear some things about the deer management and the APRs they were going after.
Right.
So with that being said, from that point to June was the March for APRs for the state of Michigan.
Yep.
Coming out of that,
I did the deer browse study up at Anchor Creek Deer Cooperative. Andrew Middling and 2 people from the DNR and somebody from the Alpena Soil Conservation District was there. And I learned about deer browse and actually did a deer browse study.
right.
So that was pretty cool.
And you learned about that, and my logging project started.
Your logging project. Yeah, that's right.
It started right off they had still snow on the ground. I want to say it was March, April time frame. So that had started. You went to the deer browse study.
Yeah.
And then we started coming into April. And here comes turkey season.
Right. Yeah, mine was kind of the same way.
I was hunting public land.
Uh-huh.
And that's when I had the toms come in, but they were all jakes.
Right.
And I held off.
Yep.
And they went down the field and got blasted.
Right.
And then the rest of the week was just, I think I've seen one tom after that.
Yeah.
It was like, really?
I had my opportunity.
I don't know if I was mad at myself for just not shooting one and being done with it, or was I doing, I've been fighting with myself about that for the last months.
Yeah.
It's like I looked at it, I said, they're jakes.
You know what? If that's what you chose to do and you made that choice, there's nothing wrong with that.
Right.
Some people do, some don't. It's whatever you want out of the hunt. But I had my choice, I had my choice. Yeah, I had my chance. It was a textbook hunt. I mean, couldn't have went any better. Called, bang, here he comes. Knew exactly where he came in. He came in through the hole I thought he would, and I rolled him.
And
he flew away.
And he flew away.
Yeah.
And turkeys do fly.
Yeah, they do. It's just I misjudged my distance. I was shooting uphill.
Oh, okay.
But it's no excuse. I flat out should have waited. But it is what it is. It was a fun hunt. I actually, after I got done saying a few choice words, I actually laughed.
Well, that's it. Just like you said, you had to laugh.
Yeah.
Because after this all went on, and I just sat back. I just kind of laughed. And the rest of the week was the way it was. And you, like you said, you had the textbook. You couldn't have planned it out any better, right?
Yeah, it was just like what we always talk about in the seminars, that you do this and this will happen. And I did that and that happened. And it's just like, you big dummy.
Right.
You should have waited for about 2 or 3 more steps.
And it's all, what do we say? Hindsight's always 20/20?
Yeah, I rushed it. I rushed it a little.
So you get so excited, right?
Yeah.
Especially when just like how yours worked out. And
when
how
it happens that quick.
And how mine worked out. I mean, I sat down, dark, and they were gobbling right off the roof. And they were right to my right. I mean, they were right there.
Yeah.
And it wasn't 5 minutes after light. Here they come, right into the field. I mean, it was
textbook.
Wow, here it is.
Yeah.
I should have shot. But it is what it is. You learn.
It is. Yep, it is.
That was our turkey season.
That was it.
And then when we got into June,
is that when we shot the tournament down in Ohio?
I want to say June was.
I think it was.
We got our first tournament experience.
Yeah.
The
Thanks to Dan Yassa.
Thanks to Dan Yassa. We were shooting our new PSE bows.
Yep.
And he said, "You guys want to come down to a tournament?"
I was scared to death.
I was shaking in my boots. All the practicing we had done and everything, and it was just like, we're going to go down here and we're going to get smoked.
Yeah.
It was just like, and and Dan's a really good shooter.
Really, really, really good.
And so we got there and we went to, it was just right, like we said, you walk the property, you go from Ohio to Michigan, Michigan to Ohio, back.
Yeah. Right on the state line.
And it was that you're shooting at dots, Actually, you're shooting at a big target, and you're shooting up to 55 meters.
Yeah, I think so.
And well, lo and behold, our first one is at 50 or whatever. I think it was one of the longest ones.
Yeah.
And it's like, holy smokes!
Through a nice little tunnel of trees, downhill.
Right, downhill, uphill.
And I didn't lose any arrows.
We didn't lose any arrows. I was ecstatic about that.
I hit the target every time.
Yeah.
On the long shot. I mean, I actually did pretty well. I was shocked at my score, actually.
Right. And then I knew I was having issues, but then he pointed them out. And I came back home and revamped my whole entire things went flying, and I took care of that.
Did he say you need to rethink your life?
Almost got there. But you know what? Meeting Dan this year has been quite an experience, which he introduces to the Schnurs.
Absolutely.
And we'll talk about that next week, meeting the Schnurs, and because that's the second half of the season. Yeah. But yeah, it's just been the first 6 months of this year has been educational. It's been fun. And eye-opening. It
has. It's didn't put a lot of game in the freezer. I mean, I do have meat in the freezer this year, but looking back at everything, I didn't do a lot of fishing this year. I actually in June, I do want to say, part of June. In the past, Jake and I have taken a trip. I think we've done it 2 or 3 times before. He graduated June 4th. He had to go to college June 23rd. So in the middle of that time, we planned a 4-day trip up north, and we went trout fishing up in the Pigeon River State Wildlife Game Area.
Say that 10 times fast, right?
And I'm still probably butchered the name, but anyway, it's up where the elk roam.
Yeah.
And we didn't catch any fish, but you know what? We got in the river the first morning, and we're throwing jewelry, fishing for trout, and saw a bald eagle. Came around. I mean, it looked like NASCAR. He's coming around turn 4. He come out of nowhere on a high bank down the stream. Because the stream made a hard left-hand turn, and it's like whoa. And then he climbed up, started circling, and got watch him try to mate with another one. And it's just, I've seen that one other time in my life. Okay. And to watch something like that, my son's there, and he's looking, he's like, America.
Right.
But afterwards you kind of reflect back. When we were standing there in the stream, he's like, how can people not come up and appreciate this kind of beauty? And look at God's creation. It's just, he said, this is just so awesome. Just to be able to stand in a stream and fish, have that opportunity, look at nature, look at bald eagles. And then we saw 5 elk on the way home. Aren't not home, but the way back to camp that evening. So it was one of the father-son moments that we try to have occasionally. And it was just awesome. And that was our last trip before he went to college.
Yep. So, and then he was off to college.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. But isn't that amazing? Just that I do this up at camp, up at my place. There's nothing better than sitting on the front porch. Deb and I do this when we're up there in our July or whenever we're up there. Actually,
right.
You getting a cup of coffee, put the chairs on the deck.
Yeah.
And just sit there and listen to nothing.
Yeah.
And whether the dogs are playing or deer will be walking in or whatever, or I have seen a bald eagle once in a while.
I've done that at camp too.
And if you hear a vehicle, you're like,
who's coming into
what's
camp?
That? And then you listen and you can tell if they turn, and it's like, okay. But how can people not appreciate? And you just, I don't know.
I remember sitting at camp, turkey season, in a cold morning. You get up and it's 40 degrees out. There might be a pile of snow still left on the ground somewhere. And you get up and you have a cup of coffee. You're sitting on the porch watching the steam rise off the lake, watching the sun come up. You see a bald eagle or hear a loon on the lake. See a loon.
Oh, yeah. Loons, yep.
Yeah, it's incredible. I mean, how can people not want to take part in the outdoors is beyond me. I mean, everybody gets so busy in their lives and their jobs and chasing the almighty dollar. It's like, stop and smell the coffee. Take a sip of coffee, sit back, and just listen. Close your eyes.
I think a lot of it is educational. A lot of people don't have mentors or family or something that actually gets them out there.
That's true. That's true. Have been brought up that way.
Right, because when I was young, my dad would take us, and when he was young, it just
right.
So if you haven't got anybody to take you by the hand, so to speak, and get you out there and say, hey, look at this.
Right. Well, it goes back to like 2 weeks ago when we had the kids up north, the doe hunt from Backwater Legacies. That's a mentoring camp, hunting camp, where they teach you how to hunt and survive and fish in the outdoors. One of the kids had never shot a deer before. I don't think he'd ever been deer hunting. His dad had never been deer hunting. I know.
You had 2 rookies.
Yeah. So, we kind of set them up. They had a mentor, another person with them the first day or 2. Then we put them solo that last day. And that's that second deer I shot, I give to the kid to take home. And I talked to David Boggs. And he said when they dropped them off that evening, when they got back to Indiana, the dad and that boy both had tears in their eyes and said, "Thank you for such a wonderful experience." And the dad said, "We're going to go get a shotgun, we're going to go get a muzzleloader, and we're going to go get bows, and we're going to start hunting." And it's like, yes, success. I mean, we were able to pass that on to somebody, even an adult,
right?
And now they're going to take up the mantle and run with it.
And that goes to show you, at any age, you can pick something up and learn it.
Absolutely. Doesn't matter if you're 80 years old.
I'm assuming the dad's probably our age?
Yeah, maybe a little younger. Yeah,
okay, maybe a little younger. Okay.
Yeah,
but it just goes to show you that if you want to try something new and you have the open mind to do it,
you can get out there and do it.
You can do it.
Yeah.
I'm not going to go do any bungee jumping. But anyways, and Jacob, exactly. Why would you not want to get out there for a little bit?
Yeah. Well, I tell you, we're running up here at the end of the show. I want to give a couple quick shout-outs. Rob Lee's watching from New Jersey. Rob, Merry Christmas to you and your family. Jim Beasley's watching. Jim over at Spot Shoot Archery, who's taking care of us this year. Jim, have a Merry Christmas and Happy New Year to you and BB. And they got the bait shop over there, BB's Bait Shop. So we got to make a stop over there. If we're going to do some ice fishing this week,
we got to get our bait.
We're going to go over. Jim will be over to see you and get some bait.
Right.
Tim Sia said he had to go to the shop. I guess he's making turkey calls today, so he had to head to the shop. And he said, "Merry Christmas to you, your families, and all your viewers." So Tim's giving everybody a Merry Christmas. So go over and check out his live stream tonight. It's tonight, right?
Yeah, well, typically it's Friday night, but he's gonna do it tonight.
You know what? When we get on tonight, let's share that. So everybody come to our page or the Up North Journal page and have a link to it so you guys can go check it out.
Yep.
He makes pot calls, turkey calls. So
and we're going to have him on the show next year sometime, early.
Yeah. Well, next year is next week. 8 days.
Pretty close.
That's right. Today's 23rd. So, 8-9 days.
Absolutely.
Well, anything else you want to throw in real quick?
I think, as we say, Merry Christmas from Up North Journal.
Absolutely. To everybody out there listening and watching the show, we want to wish you a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Next week's show will be much like today, be on a Saturday.
Yep.
Are we doing morning or evening?
Morning.
Saturday morning. Okay.
I'll be over to wake you up.
Well, wait a minute. We might be ice fishing.
Maybe.
Maybe we'll do an
Depends
evening
on how cold it is.
Yeah. Just we'll put an announcement out.
We'll play it by ear.
Yeah, we'll put an announcement out so everybody can chime in and watch and listen. So.
Right.
All right. That it?
That's it.
All right. Well, Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, everybody.
From everybody here at the Up North Journal. And for those of you on the live stream, if you got any questions or anything, you want to say anything, just throw it out real quick before we
wrap it up for Christmas.
Wrap everything up for Christmas. Absolutely. Let me save this one off here. Uh-oh, somebody's calling you. It must be your wife.
No. I probably have some...
You got a fan calling you?
A place in Florida to go to. All I got to do is probably sit through umpteen hour.
Oh. You can go to this fabulous destination. All you need to do is sit through this condominium sales pitch for the next 5 hours.
Right.
All right.
I tell you what, it is so funny when we're at work and all our work phones
all ring at the same time?
And it's like we look at the numbers, we all look at each other. Where are you going?
Deb says, nope.
Right?
Oh, that's funny. Deb doesn't want to go to Florida, huh?
Well, I don't think she wants to sit through
5 hours of
5 hours of sales pitch. Right?
Yeah.
So yeah, no. But it's funny. All our work numbers, it's amazing. They come from all over the country.
Yeah.
And it's like I've gotten from the Red Cross to the I got a place for you down here to come visit. It's just like, geez, oh, Pete's people, stop it.
Right. That's good stuff.
So, but other than that, I think we're good.
All right. Looks like nobody else is on right now, so we're going to end the live stream here. So,
Everybody have a good Christmas.
from all of us here at the Up North Journal, have a very Merry Christmas. We'll see you again next week.